Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Lawler here. We just wrapped up RLCS Day 3 for the World Championship, and boy, was it a crazy one. I'm not going to waste any time from you guys. As always, if you guys enjoy the content, like, subscribe, notifications, hit me up. Let's talk about the news right away, and then we'll get into the recap itself. Something that I thought was pretty cool that you saw from the production team is they're actually airing the World Championship Grand Finals game, like Sunday's World Championship, in theaters across cinemas. Thought it was kind of a cool thing that if you guys are trying to have a really cool, exciting experience, but you can't make it into the venue itself, there's movie theaters all around Europe where you can. Thought that was kind of cool. Obviously a little bit of a side note, but thought it was neat. Today we're talking lowers. We're talking about the matches for elimination and who made it. This is purely making sure that everybody got to play in front of the crowd. So we got to see the venue for the first time. We got to see people actually join in, the chanting and stuff. Good things from production. I will commend them. Usually there's a really bad time about trying to like mic up the crowd and be able to hear them. That was good. There were certain times where they only took crowd noise and they actually eliminated the gameplay noise. Don't know if I liked that. I like the concept of what they're trying to go for, but it felt awkward. Overall, production's been pretty solid. Crowd's been pretty dang good. Biggest crowd, I will say, probably for a Friday. This could also be one of those where it's like, hey, you guys announced it really early so people can schedule taking days off. Benefits to letting people know ahead of time. So very, very packed Friday. Pretty dang solid. Verdice Pro, after having a really solid second day and playing upset and making it out of play-ins, had to go up against GK. GK was that wildcard team that we talked about being very, very dangerous. They continued to do so. They started off by beating Verdice Pro in a very tight series. 1-goal games in a couple of those, and Verdice Pro did put up a valiant effort. 3 of those are 1-goal games, you guys. I don't think people realize like how close this series actually was with 2 OTs. We talk about the imports. We talk about how these minor regions don't stand a chance. It is getting more and more competitive. And that's kind of the general narrative of what we've seen so far for this entire World Championship. Upsets galore, crazy results, teams eliminated early, minor regions and otherwise playing really well. Yeah, shoutouts to Sphinx. Sosa, I think, had a much bigger impact as well. Catalysm popped off and made some big plays. It's competitive. Making top 8 is not easy. And that's going to continue to be the case, I think, moving forward. As for GK, though, they do close it out 3-1 and then immediately have to go on to play Dignitas, who they do take down and barely hold off a reverse sweep. Dignitas, I don't know really how would I describe this? Again, it's been a long day, so apologies if I kind of lose track of things of like what exactly went down. Again, always going to promote, check out Edit Tim. His highlight videos are great. It's a really easy way to follow and pay attention to everything. Big recommend. But shots inaccurate at times. Multiple chances to put it away. Like counterattacks galore. I think a lot of teams just trying to not make that mistake, but it provides space in the midfield. Or they over-aggress and then it's an open net shot, which happened a lot. There was a lot of times in this series where like, hey, there's 3 people and no one's back and you're just shooting on target. You do that and you win. But then we got a different Dignitas. Game 3, Game 4, back to that polish, back to that aggression. Game 4, probably the best game of the entire series. And despite all that, they score a goal 3 seconds immediately. I joke with my chat, anybody who predicts who wins and the exact time scores happen in OT, I'll gift them a sub. They didn't even have time to type. It just immediately, it was like, kickoff done, over. Which was good. Momentum now in favor of Dignitas. Let's get a really solid game 5. Back and forth yet again. And then after the kickoff, GK scores and denies it. So Dignitas, you gave us an exciting series. You wasted our time on these and this super long OT, and they close it out. But yeah. Wild times as always. GK making it into the top 8 over the number 2 seed in Dignitas. Dignitas as well, to my knowledge, has not performed well against GK. Oli stepped up as well. Really big today. Happy for him. 5-1 in favor of GK, now 6-1. Okay. I think a lot of us got caught up in the narrative of what Rock was doing, but maybe we forgot a little bit, myself included, that Rock has never played in front of the crowd before. Maybe a lot of pressure. Maybe Furia is still a really good team, and all it took was them getting back in front of the crowd. Because when they're in front of the crowd, they definitely show it. I will say, despite that, Furia did not look like the Furia we know and love. These games were close. Obviously, they started to run away with it. Looked like their old form. Yan and the rest of the guys obviously doing their thing. But these games were competitive. And Furia normally offensively just overwhelms. And that didn't look like it until probably halfway towards the end of game 3. That being said, we then go against K Corp. I mean, it's tough. Furia kept it a 1-goal game every single time. This was a fight. Obviously, KC won in a sweep. Does not tell the story at all. 2 OTs, super competitive. I joked with my chat, KC is inevitable because even though Furia scoring and going up by 1-2-1 at 22 seconds left or 24 seconds or whatever the heck it is, they go to OT and win. It's like, man, it's frustrating. Furia was getting suffocated by K Corp's offense, boost control, everything, and then kind of just sitting back. They're like, hey, we can't compete with their pace and their demos, so we're gonna sit back on the goal line, bring them in, and then we'll counter. And K Corp goes, well, you just gave me a solo from midfield with 100 boost. Do you know who I am? I'm Vati. I'm Vati Goat. Watch me hit the shot. Flip reset, doesn't connect, backboard, leans back, goes underneath, barely under the post, they score. A Tau clutching up and out. Like, it's just one after another, man. Like, they're so good. Very good for the case of the tournament because if KC is out, that's like half the crowd gone. We then go to Group B, who are our final 4 joining us. Space Station Gen G, I don't think anybody's too shocked by this one, but I was mostly surprised by how much Kofor took over. It wasn't even like Kofor going for demos and stuff, just mechanically, the dude on a different level. Gen G gives space. They're not afraid to back off and retreat and kind of reset. Space Station took full advantage of it. Mechanically and everything else, Space Station was on a tear. That being said, 1-goal games, 2-goal games, very, very close. I think Gen G plays a tough fight, but Space Station felt in full control that entire time. Second series, Team Secret and Space Station, a little bit more of the same. Secret came out and put out a pretty good fight. All 1-goal games in the series. Secret as well. People, I think, kind of sleep on. I saw it a lot on the timeline. This is now a top 8, or a top 6, a top 8, and then a 1-goal game across the board against a very, very mechanically talented Space Station roster. I still stand by, I think Furia is the better team. That being said, Furia needs an upgrade. Furia is probably making a roster change, and maybe they're going to snipe someone from Secret, whether it be KV1 or otherwise. Who you replace, I don't know. Maybe you take KBM for KBM and you bring out your feet. I don't know. There's a lot of crazy theory crafting going on between those two teams. Unfortunately for Sam, neither one in the top 8. And we blame Wildcard for that because that's usually where Sam goes instead. Crazy times, especially after how this entire season went, of the narratives of like, hey, OCE is regressing, Sam is solidifying, they're improving. We got Sam 2 playing better. And now it's Wildcard in. Like, this whole tournament has been so weird to try to figure out what the heck is going on. I even jokingly tweeted, I'm like, okay, based upon the results are going on, this is the last game of the day. It only makes sense for Fury to beat K Corp and knock them out. That doesn't happen. The reason why we tweeted that, though, is because of this. In RLCS 23-24, we did not have wildcards. We only had 16 teams go to the World Championship, and it was desperately missed because in 21-22 or 22-23, whatever it is, we got to see the wildcard stage. 24 teams down, bringing those into the double elimination, and we got to see some pretty cool runs. We got to see some really historic runs. None as historic, though, as a wildcard team in Ninjas and Pyjamas that failed to make a major or get past the top 6 over and over and over again. More so a team that has a player who's a former world champ get dropped from his team, picked up, fail to qualify, get picked up by another team, and then go and beat his former team, his former teammates when he won a world championship, to make top 8. Bobby Jr. doing it different. Verdice being the difference maker for NIP. Itachi out, focusing on content. It looks like he's having a really good time. Verdice coming in and being a difference maker for the team. NIP plays a very close series, goes to game 5, and it's a reverse sweep. They couldn't do it against NRG the day before, but they do it against Twisted Minds. It looked over. Like, I hate to say it to NIP, but like, it looked like it was over. Twisted Minds had their number, although close, obviously with 1-goal games and the long OT. It definitely looked like Twisted Minds is like, yo, 1 out of 3 of these, we definitely got it. We will handle business. And then NIP absolutely stomped them. Like, Nas has really come into his own. It is about time we saw it. And we theory crafted this team so much about like what could NIP. You guys talked about my power rankings from the very beginning of the season of like, man, NIP with Itachi, like if they get to land, that's a dangerous team. A little concerned because of how Gentlemates went with Itachi and the 50 game just started to fall off last season. But like, if they make land, that's going to be a dangerous team. Did I think it was going to be with Radosa? No, but I am so excited to see who I know is a land boy. Like, Oski is so good. I think Oski is a top player in EU on offense. To see Nas really break out of his shell and really show that impact, be controlled with the ball, not be afraid to slow it down. The things that I know Nas is really good at and have seen him do, the comfort is there now, and they really, really find their footing. But to know it came down to one goal in 2 matches and Twisted Minds is out continues to push the narrative of how close it is and how difficult it is to not only make top 8, but top 9 through 12, man. It's brutal. We then get NIP versus Vitality, and ironically, somewhat similar to the Dignitas situation with GK. There was a moment when Vitality had, I think, like 3 or 4 shots, absolutely suffocating NIP, one after another. Like, able to close it out here. Like, we're going to be in a really good spot. Crossbar, a little bit wide, a little bit high. Counterattack, NIP scores. We go to OT, they lose. Like, those replays are going to haunt them. Like, this game is truly a matter of inches. And then Nas took over, honestly. It was really well played by NIP. So, kudos to them. They take down the Golden Hornets. Best of 5s are absolutely brutal for elimination matches. There's only so many in the day. If this doesn't continue to show and shine light on the fact that they need to extend the days, they need to make these eliminations and qualifications maybe best of 7s. Like, these matches need to be BO7. It is, one, good for entertainment, but you can't do that when you're only doing a 5-day event. They need to extend it. Maybe like a 7-day event, like a week-long event would be sick. They got to find a way to accommodate. But that being said, well done by NIP. Golden Hornets, Vitality is out. Half the crowd is now gone. Hopefully they still come in and attend and support their other teams. But yeah, what does that mean for tomorrow? Taking a look at the graphic, obviously we are now done. We have also hit a sub goal of song requests. You guys have been way excessive with them, and I can't wait to make changes to it because I'm losing my mind. Lowers and uppers, and then the 1v1 final. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 1v1 will be after that with Nalpo and Moxie, or Nubo, Nalbo, however you say his name. Yeah, crazy stuff. That is what is the plan for tomorrow. That is what I have for the recap. Again, I know I missed so many details and so many specifics. Go check out the highlight video. I highly recommend it. It's good to watch some of the craziness and some of the shots. There was one like ground pinch that it's like, hey man, how don't you read those? Well, it came out at like 1 billion miles an hour, hit crossbar, went down, and then they got a goal. Some pretty weird stuff. Either way, I'm out of here. We'll be back tomorrow bright and early for some more RLCS action. As always, if you guys enjoy the content, you like the updates, or if you like me being completely off my rocker and trying to theorycraft Rocket League 4v4, hashtag RLCS 4v4, let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, like, subscribe, notifications, hit me up, join the Discord, leave me any comments down below. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Mentality within the family, lonely the feeling, but it seemed to follow me. I see you loving me, feel like formality.